Oh, what? Hey, 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 what? Hey,
Hey, we're back.
Had to throw it.
Right.
Throw it.
All the way to the left. What up, everybody, and welcome back. This is another installment of Blue Oranges LLC's Planning Hacks for Creatives Part 2. And we have a special guest with us today. It is Miss Marlena Banks. Say hey.
Hey, y'all.
So Marlena is the lovely author of Big Idea Food. So Marlena, can you tell them just a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you are doing right now?
Absolutely. Well, as you so well eloquently stated, I am the author of Big Idea Food. It is a weekly devotional for entrepreneurs, side hustlers, and dreamers. So if you are a believer, the dreamer, you got stuff in your heart that you're trying to do, this devotional is all about all of that for anybody who's creative. So that's pretty much what I do. I create and I help multi-passionate entrepreneurs really elevate their influence, their clarity, and their faith. And I do that through the book. I do that through speaking, coaching, and all kinds of fun stuff. Plus, I just do whatever I have in my heart to do and put out into the world, pretty much.
Okay, and so how did you get started with, because last time I saw you back in 2004 in high school. That's cool.
It's not gonna date ourselves.
It's cool. It's fine.
It's fine.
You were into graphic design. So how did you transition from graphic art to
Writing a whole book?
a book?
Yeah, great question. So actually, I did do graphic design for a long time, right?
Okay.
So after I graduated, I was a freelance graphic designer, creative director, pretty much up until I launched my book last year. That was my focus side hustle.
Okay.
And so the book was really born out of a lot of just like journals and stuff that I have written over the years. I'm a huge journaler. And so in my own business, as a side hustler, as a graphic designer, you know, God would give me encouragement to help me get over humps, you know, get over those mental barriers and all of that crazy stuff. So, you know, when God really sat me down, so I was kind of getting to a place where I was feeling a little stagnant in my business.
Okay.
Feeling like I wanted to pursue something else, honestly.
Okay.
So I was looking at other business avenues. I was exploring like, ooh, yo, I'm gonna be in Silicon Valley somewhere. I'm about to be like making these millions, you know? And God really actually sat me down because I was looking at what I could do and the different businesses that I could do. And for every single one, it was like I needed something. It was like, you need funding for this, you need a team for that. And I really, you know, God sat me down and he's like, what can you do right now with what you have in your hand? And he really kind of encouraged me to take inventory of my skills, my talents, my giftings. And when I did that, you know, I was like, okay, God, like my number one gifting has always been teaching. I've always been a teacher.
Wow.
I teach youth, you know, I'm a youth minister on Sundays. I've always been able to break down biblical truths. But I'm like, Lord, like, I don't want to do that in business. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with business. So let's get back to the business stuff we can do. But then he like brought me back to what I had in my journals, and he was like, don't you think some people could take benefit from the content that you had in my journals? And y'all, when I actually went back and looked through the journals over, like literally this is like 7-8 years at this point of just writing and hearing from God, I was like, yo, this is like actually like content. Like this is something that could help somebody.
Yeah.
So really that was what did it. I decided to write the book, and at the time I really didn't know I was going to continue with it. You know, I just thought I'm gonna write this book and then I'm gonna get back to my Silicon Valley. But honestly, sometimes you take that first step and you know, you can see everything else after that. So after I wrote the book, I really it was like God opened my eyes and I could really see a much larger brand and kind of movement around this whole vision. So that's kind of where I finally made that decision to shift from just being that graphic designer and that creative director to now building out a whole brand and a platform.
Man, and isn't it crazy like how all that stuff is like, it was already in you? Like when people talk about you already have everything you need to get started. And I think a lot of times, like you said, looking for the funding and all this other stuff is like, use your 2 hands with these 5 fingers on each hand, type on that laptop. Like technology has expanded so much that we have so many resources now. We can just go and do whatever, literally. So it's amazing. So given how you started, since this is a part of the series for Planning Hacks for Creatives, I want to know How have you spent your time, or how did you spend your time in order to push out Big Idea Food?
Ooh.
What did that look like for you?
That is a good question. So, I think the very first thing that helped me figure out my time to actually sit down and write this was first I kind of set a deadline. So
Okay.
I started writing it in May of 2017, and I knew that I wanted to be done before the year was out. So
Okay.
it was a little aggressive.
Yeah.
But actually not. Actually, I realized it's really not. It's
Okay.
super easy. So once I had a deadline, then I started to think, okay, how much can I actually write every single week? And so I set a goal. I think my first goal was like 5 devotionals a day or something, which was absolutely psycho.
Okay.
That's a lot. So we quickly didn't we stopped that whole focus. So I think I shifted it to 5 per week. And so and then I had to figure out, okay, when during my day can I actually do this? And this was during a time when I had actually transitioned from my career in advertising to actually just a job to pay the bills. So I had like a nice block of time after I got off, actually before I went to work, to just write. And so that was my time to write. So once I had a designated like time frame that I was actually gonna like, this is my writing time, and I knew how much I had to write every single week, and I knew my deadline. From there, it was just a matter of actually doing it.
Okay. So in the process of now you have your deadline to actually finishing the book, did you ever have like one of those nights where you like, it's 3 a.m. I feel inspired to write 7 chapters. Get up and do it. Coffee. Get up and like, did you ever have like that burst of energy like, devotionals, here we come. Like, did you ever have that moment?
That's actually a great question. Yeah, I can't say that happened. I love that you asked that though, because a lot of people and future authors, they're like, I want to write, and they think that they have to wait until they're inspired before they can actually write, when it's like, no, if you create your outline or you create your plan of what you want to create, then you can just, once you know what you need to do, then you can execute. I would say I mean, you know, the Lord did rain down from the heavens maybe like once or twice in the process where it was like, yes. But other than that, it was like, nah. We just needed to just execute this 5 per
regular
week
timeline. Okay.
Stay on that.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I got you. So let's see. So you have your deadline and then you meet your deadline. So since the launch of your book, has the way you used your time changed, and if so, how?
That is another great question. So definitely. So after launching the book, so launching in and of itself is like a whole animal as far as time is concerned, because it's like round the clock. You know, you're on social media 24/7. You're answering every single mention. You're, you know, in answering a bajillion DMs, all of that stuff. So that was like round the clock. Launching was. It was a special beast.
Gotcha.
So after launching was really when I was able to kind of scale back and start thinking about how I can start to think strategically about the next steps after. So I would say, you know, I went from, okay, now I got to write every 5 chapters a week to now I got to actually launch this thing. So how do I do that? To now I'm in sort of a stage where I can actually start to plan. So I would say the time, how I use my time has definitely changed depending on what phase of business I'm in, I guess. So right now, really, because I actually just recently left my job to focus on business full time. So it's changed drastically because of that. So, you know, whereas I was getting up early in the morning before work to actually work on business and then working on it when I got off after 5, now I'm able to wake up and just like get to work. So you think that, wow, I have, instead of 2 hours a day, I now have 8, 16, however many I want to use.
Right.
And no, that's still too much.
Nope.
So I've definitely been learning, like, you know, whereas I felt like when I was working, like I could just spend all day on my business if only I had all day. But in reality, like spending all day on your business is like a surefire way to burn out.
Yeah.
So I've definitely learned to break up my day.
Yeah.
Similar to how you would do it when you're still working. You work in the morning a little bit. Take a lunch break.
Yeah.
Go take a walk. Like I've definitely been doing that, and that's been amazing. And then, you know, come back, go somewhere else and work, you know. So I've definitely been learning that breaking up my day is a huge help to continuing to be productive with my time.
Man, yeah, and I think that's huge for artists and business owners, because like you said, when we're at work, we naturally do. It's naturally scheduled for us, but I think because it's what you want to do, it's your business, and so you're like, I'm just gonna go 8 hours, no food, no water, getting it done, project out, and it's like, yeah, I'm a beast, and you're like, eyes swirling after hour number 7.5, and it's like you still need even though you love it, still go to the bathroom.
Absolutely.
Go relieve yourself. So,
yeah. Just that.
Just please.
Minimum that.
Sit down on the toilet. So yeah, it's important. It's important. So let's see. Now that we've covered that, what advice would you give somebody who is wanting to launch a book out there or just want to get started with, let's see, monthly blogs or just any type of writing venture? What advice would you give them about how to plan their time?
Yes. Well, I mean, the very first thing I would say is just start. First of all, just start. But as far as planning your time, I'm a big cheerleader of just planning in general. So you definitely, like, when you're just starting something, you have a lot of ideas in your head. And it really helps to just get them all down and then start to realize, okay, this is like a 10.0 idea, and this is like a 1.0. This is where I can actually start. Because I find that when you're able to kind of phase out your plan and like put those big crazy dreams off to the side so you can focus on what's most actionable right now, that allows you to have that ability to execute at a more efficient level. So and then from there, I think it, like I did with the book, it's figuring out what's my next benchmark, and then creating those milestones to hitting that benchmark. And I would definitely say, and we kind of touched on this already, as much as you love what you're doing and this is your baby, you love it. If you love it, you have to give it time away. Give yourself time away from it. Like, you are more than this business or this project or this art. Like, you have to remember that you are a whole entire human. And as much as you love this thing, you got to take time away from it. And so I would definitely schedule in regular time to spend time with family, like take a break, self-care. Take that, whatever you need. Get your hair done. I got my nails done yesterday, feet done, felt great. So definitely still finding ways to balance out your time so that you can, when you are working on your passion, you can really have that full creative energy and not be exhausted about it.
Yes. Work-life balance. I love it. So we got to go back because you said something that I'm really terrible with. You said, yeah, it's happening. So you said when you launched Big Idea Food, you were spending time on social media a lot, answering every mention, responding to DMs. So your girl is all like, social media twice a week. I'm a private person. So, but realizing that may be fine for your personal life, but Heather, this is your business. And so getting over like your own personal habits and, things that, you can, personal life stuff is fine, but answer the mention. Don't just, like, I answer in my head a lot. I'm like,
that doesn't count.
Thanks, girl. Turn over the phone. Over.
That was so nice.
Sweet of her. I don't even know where the accent goes, but it's like, it's nice of her. Anyway, like, did it just naturally come to you that you were like, she mentioned me, let me mention them back? Like, have you always been that person, or did you have to evolve into that person?
So I definitely, well, how do I answer this? So I worked in advertising for a long time, so I do understand the value.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that I would say that went into like, okay, I know that I have to like respond to people,
right?
But just bare foundational minimum.
Hey,
no shade,
not
at all.
Cool.
But I would say like before I launched the book, I didn't have a big following. I posted maybe once every 3 months. If I felt like it. And it was just my personal. So definitely, I think that knowing that now I had to shift from, just like you said, this is just not my personal account. Now I am actually trying to produce something that I want the world to know about.
Right.
So I think that passion though, like when you're doing something you're passionate about and you really do want people to engage with it and you're excited because they are, like, it will come naturally. It has come naturally for me. Like now, whereas I wasn't on Instagram ever, now I'm like on there too much.
Okay.
I would say we're bordering addiction here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna slide that in.
Say a prayer.
We're gonna pray. We're gonna pray after the video.
That's cool.
So yeah, that definitely watching that. You keeping the balance, the life Instagram balance.
Yeah,
That's a thing.
the life Instagram
The life
balance.
Instagram. Yeah.
So, in terms of social media and your time spent, have you picked one social media source that you use, or are you like across all boards? Like, how are you doing it?
Instagram is my happy place.
That's
it. So I do. Instagram lets you automatically post to Facebook. So
Right.
but
Right.
I'm really not thinking of Facebook as a strategy. And in my mind, building out additional channels is like I was talking about earlier, that 10.0. You know, later on, maybe around the 3.0, I'll start to build out the other channels.
Okay.
But right now, I really want to focus on building that
Gotcha.
following on one platform because it's just too much.
It
Unless
is.
you have a team and money to pay that team, like yes, be everywhere. Be on Periscope if you want to.
I was gonna
and
say,
waste your time. That's fine.
what
You know, like you can afford it.
I was like, I'm barely on Facebook. I don't even know.
Right.
So I'm just like, are you snapping and periscoping?
No.
Is that even periscoping and Instagramming? Like, it's just sometimes I think as a small business owner and as an artist, like because I don't like social media. For my private life, it just feels sometimes overwhelming with the amount of things you need to keep up with until you can hire that team to come on and take over those platforms for you. So,
Definitely.
like you said, I think just being realistic about what you can and can't do, and when you get there, you get there.
Yeah, and I'm a big proponent too of doing what you enjoy. So I enjoy Instagram. Like I enjoy being on there and talking to people. So like if there's a platform that you can actually physically enjoy being on, then pick that one.
Okay.
At the end, like some people are more Twitter people. You know what I mean? Like
True.
I just want to say this quick little witty thing. Y'all don't like it, and you know what I mean? So that's your vibe. Yeah. So maybe finding that channel that really suits your personality the most is a good place to start too.
Thank you. This is why. This is what I do. This is what I do. So, any last words of advice, tidbits you want to give to any creatives out there? I know we talked about time, but just anything in general. Maybe one great lesson or two great lessons you've learned since transitioning from graphic design to being an amazing author now. Like anything you want to share?
Something that I'm just kind of is really hitting me recently is to take action. So a lot of times we are, especially as creatives, you are multi-passionate. You just have a bajillion things going on in your heart that you want to put out into the world or that you just don't know about, like you have an idea and it's all just swirling around in your head. But at the end of the day, make some sort of action. Do something. Like you will get more clarity by doing than you ever will by thinking. So spend some time and figure out what you actually is worth your time to do for you. For me, when I realized that this book was literally everything I wanted, like I had been wanting a way to express my Christianity. I had been wanting a way to, minister to people and pour out the things that I had learned. And when I realized there really wasn't any other devotionals like this, it was like my gold, my treasure in the field. You know what I mean? And like that's when it was like, okay, I have to do this. Like, and I got to do it before somebody else does it because I'm gonna be pissed off if somebody else does it. You know what I'm saying? So find your treasure. And then from there, I'm telling you, once you see that, it's going to light a fire. And then just start doing. You're not going to have it all figured out, but experiment, try something. It may or may not work. It probably won't work, but do it. It's going to teach you, and then pivot and keep rolling and keep doing it. So definitely don't feel like you have to marry every single decision that you make. Truly, you can start something, experiment. You didn't like it, do something else. But just don't be paralyzed thinking about it. Definitely spend that time and take action.
Yes, you better say pivot. Yes,
that's my favorite word right now.
I'm pivoting.
I'm pivoting. What are you doing? I'm pivoting.
Pivoting pivots. Did you watch Friends?
I did watch Friends.
Did you see that episode?
No.
Okay.
I was just gonna stop you there.
That's fun. It was funny though.
I have a friend that would have known the reference.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
If you know the reference, pivot. You know. All right. Anyway, so that is wrapping it up. Can you tell people where they can find you on social media?
Yes, so I am at Marlena Banks on Instagram, clearly. You can also follow my brand, Big Idea Food, at Big Idea Food on Instagram and Facebook. So check me out. I'm also at bigideafood.com if you'd like to learn more about the brand. Sign up. I do have a weekly newsletter that I send out. So if you need that free 99 devotional, I send one out every single Tuesday.
Hey.
It will get your whole life together. So definitely sign up at bigideafood.com.
Awesome. Well, that has been another installment of Planning Hacks for Creators Part 2. So don't forget to like and subscribe on the channel, and we will see you later.
Peace.